And we're on. Hello, everybody. My name's Gary. It is 9:59. That means we have 1 minute to wait. So if you are checking out the replay of this, fast forward 1 minute, and then I'll start saying fascinating and interesting things, or not. But we know we won't. I won't be saying anything important yet. Let's see. Oh gosh. You ever look at your phone and you're like, I haven't looked at my phone in hours. And you're like, I don't think I'd want to look at it. All right, all this is taken care of. I'm pretty sure we'll put it on silence. Nobody needs to be bugging us. Now it's 7 o'clock. We're ready to play some music. Let's see. We'll wait just a minute or two to let a few people get logged in. Let me go over to the main screen. It always there's a delay, right? I log in, I start talking, and then there's this weird delay, and so I like to have both the delayed version. I put delay, live, chat, and so that's how you tell I'm a real professional. Let's see, what else do I have going on the website, right? Jolly Roger members. I have posted the latest and greatest version of Blackbird, and we probably won't play it tonight since we played it pretty good last week. It's essentially the same thing, but I published it with the tough uke in the standard notation line. Now, here's the thought. I think it's worse. I don't think that's helpful at all, but I know those of you who are standard notation readers, it's really important to you. And so we're gonna do a few of these this way, and then we're gonna talk about it. As you're looking through these updated pieces of sheet music, and you see all the busyness that's going on in what used to just be the singer's line. Toss me a note and let me know what you think. If you like it, we can keep doing it that way. It's not so bad on baritone. On baritone, because the strings are in order, it makes some sense. But on regular high G ukulele, man, oh man, does it create a whole bunch of standard notation problems, and that don't have really good answers. And so I think generally speaking, I'm finding it to be less cool. I did put the ukulele Blackbird in color, and I'm going to go back and put the baritone in color just so you can see what's accompaniment versus melody. And I think on Eleanor Rigby, I did them both the right way. So both of those are in color. So if you have an iPad, you'll be fine. And if you are going off of paper, you can decide if you want to print them out in color or not. You don't have to, and I may just waste color ink. But I'm going to start posting them in color. I've always been able to do that. I've always thought, I don't want that. I want old school traditional music. And I think sometimes I make decisions that are silly. All right, let's see. Did anybody coming in tonight? Ah, Jennifer's here. Yay. Okay, that's the only person we need. Everybody else is extra. All right, so again, Blackbird and Eleanor Rigby have new sheet music posted on the website. Nothing really changed about it. I just fancied it up and cleaned it up a little bit, and I don't know if I made it better or just made it more complicated. But anyway, look them over, decide what you think. Let me know what you think about the additional information that shows up in the standard notation line. Hey Alexis, how are you? Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. All right, so we're going to look at, if we have time, we'll go back and look at Blackbird. But for the most part, I want to start with Eleanor Rigby, and I want to start with ukulele. And we talked about it briefly last week, and so we'll talk about what else is on it. And it's snowing here today, which it snows about 7 minutes a year here, and so I have this jacket on, and because I had to take the dog out, and I was outside for maybe 2-3 minutes, and it was kind of chilly, so I still have my jacket on. Okay, so one, you guys all own snarks. Yes, we don't need to talk about that. Let's get tuned up. got cold, and so the ukulele tightens up. How's that? Game on. KMOS in the house. Yeah, what is snow? Snow is... The sad thing is that up in Denver, they just been getting destroyed. And we've had almost, wouldn't call it perfect, but pretty nice weather down here. So I used to, when we were broadcasting from Denver during the COVID times, I would say, when you log in, tell me where you're from and what the weather's like. And, and it was very fun. But when you're down here, it's like every day is fine. And so, I don't know, the weather starts to lose its meaning. All right. Let's talk just a little bit. If you're playing a baritone and I'm playing a ukulele, we can play together, but you have to know how to read your chords, right? And so if you look at the ukulele sheet music, which is what I'm going to play from, and you're a baritone player, you have to know what your B flat looks like on baritone, okay? You have to know what your D minor looks like on baritone. You have to know... That's the only two chords. That's right. I made a whole post entry on the blog about that. You only need to know two chords, and then you can play along. And when you're thinking about accompaniment for Eleanor Rigby, this is not what you want, right? And so this, when we are working at ukulele, we have a tendency to think this. I would say, let me use just real ukulele chords. Eleanor Rigby. Oh, it starts in D minor. That's this one. Eleanor Rigby picks up the rice in a church where the wedding has been. Right? That's nice, right? So think about the concept of the piece of music that you're trying to play. This is a sad piece, kind of a slow piece, kind of a lonely piece. That's sort of the theme of the song, is lonely. So don't go ukulele like we do. I see this all the time when I go to strum along. Sad song, and people are doing the same strum as the happy songs. And you're like, no. I'm on the 5th fret. All right, so that's the chord section of things, right? And I don't sing for you guys because I don't have to. But if you do like singing, I'm not against singing, right? I'm not against strumming and singing, but be wise when you're playing something like this. The other one here that I would seriously think about is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and Eleanor Rigby picks up the rice in a church where a wedding has been. Lives in a dream, waits at the window, right? That's something I would think of right off the bat. I'm like, that's a sad, lonely sound from your ukulele, and it's a sad, lonely song. Boom! All of a sudden, I'm got something worth presenting to people. And so if you're just playing on your own and you enjoy singing, think about doing stuff like that, right? If of course, most of you guys are wanting to learn the instrument and are less excited about singing, but still learn enough, right? Sooner or later, you're gonna have to sing "Happy Birthday" to somebody, and so you want to have some sort of right-hand thoughts about that. So if you're on baritone, those are your two chords. Make it sound nice, right? If you're on ukulele, now we got choices, okay? For those of you guys that are newer, right, and this is a lot, you're playing melody, and don't ever think that that's a lower level skill. Playing melody is... I hear it all the time on YouTube. That's what beginner stuff. No, it's not. Playing a good, clean, perfect melody where it stands out... Right? It's just gorgeous, and it's so easy to screw up, and it's either right or it's wrong. And so playing melody, even when you're an accomplished player, is incredibly important. And I know I spend so much time, not so much on ukulele, but a ton on guitar, talking to students about make that melody. The melody is the important part. All this other nonsense we're doing with our chords and accompaniment and all that, that has to be quieter because it's not as important. It's important, but it's not as important as getting your melody right. So if you're newer, or if you're just wanting to make sure that you are good at this song, take some time to play the melody. And in this case, in measure 3, we get to that famous little jig there. Right? That's important. And so both Tough Uke and melody have the same exact thing there, because I imagine sometimes there's going to be times when you're playing with 2 or 3 people. You want to be able to have them deliciously meld together. And a lot of times when I'm doing arrangements for big groups, stuff that's important, it's almost always straight melody. I have both either low G and high G, or baritone and low G or something. I have them both playing that same exact thing because I want it to be punched, right? Now, obviously you're here to learn Tough Uke, to work on that. Okay, remember you have 2 choices with your right hand, almost always. You always can play my arrangements with your thumb straight down. Okay, that's super hard and super high level stuff. That's definitely top of the line book 2 stuff, getting into book 3 kind of thing. There's a couple moments in here that are definitely not book 2-ish stuff. And when you're playing like that, there's a couple of things that I think about. One, you're going to slow down because you got a lot of work to do, so don't ever try to rush through at the same tempo. You would play the chords at one tempo, you would play the melody at a different tempo, you're going to play Tough Uke of all of those at the slowest tempo. You got a lot of work to do. Don't rush the songs. And I would say in generally speaking, don't rush at all for anything ever on your ukulele. Give things time. Right? What I'm doing there is just letting the notes be important. And what I'm not worried about is the rhythm. When we play an ensemble and we're all together, that's the only thing that matters, is keeping up with the beat. But when you're a soloist, you do not have to worry about that. No matter what your piano teacher told you when you were a kid, you do not have to keep track of the beat on everything, right? If it gets too weird, people will lose interest because they're expecting notes when you're not playing them, or not when you are. And but generally speaking, as a soloist, especially when you're just working on stuff on your own, I wouldn't get married to a metronome at all. I would be thinking about what's the best way I can present this song. And I mentioned on the blog post, what's going to determine how fast you should play this song is at measure 21. You've got the hard B flat chord up on 5, and then you've got to get your pinky down on the 8. We talked about that last week. That's the hard moment. And so however fast you can get this on. Whoops, how does it go? Where am I? I'm on the wrong fret. However fast you can do that in real life and make it sound like you know what you're doing, that's how fast you can play the song. And for most of us, that's going to be pretty slow. All right. Let's go very slowly, and we'll go through it just as written. We'll look for anything. And then guys that are logged in to the chat bar, toss in any questions or thoughts, or if it goes well, right in there. Man, I just killed it. Right? Okay. All right. And we are in ensemble essentially, right? We're playing a duet. I'm playing, you're playing. We have to stay together. So I will try to keep it reasonably consistent, and you will try to keep up with me. Okay? So from the top, 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to the beginning. Go forward. Back to 5, ready, go. Second ending. I missed that note. That's the note I'm looking for. Okay, so that's probably a pretty decent speed. Not super fast. If you get really good at it, you usually get a little faster, right? If you get really good at it and you're getting ready to go do a performance of this, you might put it on a metronome just to see how bad you're not making your marks. But generally speaking, I say don't use a metronome until you're ready to perform in public, and then just use it as a double check that you're not making any really silly mistakes that you haven't been paying attention about. I think the piece of music is good, right? I think it's really pleasant. I think the chords are challenging. Definitely those higher level up the neck chords take a little bit of effort to get them correct, right? That 10 is just beautiful, right? The other thing, the first time through I was playing with my thumb. Second time through I switched over to the claw position. I want you to always, when you are practicing, use both. Okay, what's going to happen is over time your thumb's going to get really good and it's going to always sound great on my arrangements, right? That's how I think. I'm working for that upper intermediate level student, right? They want to play tough uke. They're getting pretty good at it. They want to sound beautiful. The thumb is something they don't have to think about overly. It always sounds great. And so I want all of my music to sound that good, right? If you know how to make the chords and you know how to run your thumb, I want you to be just delighted at what comes out of your ukulele. However, the advanced level, that beyond upper intermediate level, there's no such thing as advanced ukulele, but there is higher than other people ukulele, right? That's going to require claw position. And that means you gotta get good at doing this, because one, I have to get you good because we got to do all sorts of extra doodads in between the main ideas, and the only way to get those in is with this. Plus, this makes you faster, and in the beginning, it makes you sound much less good, right? The claw is not near as easy to control as your thumb, and so that's why I want you to make sure you're always taking some time to play a piece. You know, if you got a piece going pretty well, switch to claw, trash the piece, and then move on to your next piece. But play it both ways with your thumb and your claw. Partly because you got to get good at your claw, but also it gives you choices within the piece. So there are places here where I think for sure a nice, beautiful thumb strum works much better than a claw pluck or a rolled chord or something. And I think if you have both skills, then you have choices, right? And that's always what we want to talk about in music. We don't want the sheet music to tell us what to do. We're going to tell the sheet music what to do using our top best level skills. This is advice, right? And this is where music is being formulated, and this is what creates it, you know? And so we want to be able to get this guy to be like, okay, we're going to do it this way for a little while. Now we're going to do it this way for a little while. Gary put it in the wrong chord there. I'm going to fix that, and so on. So just be thoughtful about, I want all of my skill set coming in here to put this together. Now, here's where things get fun. I'm going to do it on baritone. Most of you are not on baritone. Maybe none of you are. A couple of you are. Okay. And when I'm on baritone, that means you're on chords if you're on ukulele. We already talked about the cool things you can do. And so this is your opportunity to see what happens. I cannot get these things over my neck with this sweatshirt on. I should take the sweatshirt off, but I'm cold. Also, my humidifier ran off on itself today, and it was 80% humidity. I broadcast from kind of this big walk-in closet, and because I have all this sound boost stuff in here to keep the echo down, and for whatever reason, the humidifier just took off. Opened the doors like sauna. All right, so ukulele players, your chord is F, dun 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 dun, and A minor. That's it. That's your two chords. Okay, you're gonna make me sound beautiful. Okay, think about nice steady strum. Think about plucking in arpeggios. If you get a little ahead of me because I'm playing something at a weird pace, you slow down. If I get a little ahead of you, you speed up, right? And so you're constantly listening. When the big thing I've noticed when people are playing accompaniment and they're newer players are staring at the sheet music because they're worried about what the next chord is coming up. You know the next chord. You'll feel it. You'll know. If you're playing and all of a sudden it feels weird, you're on the wrong chord, right? So switch to the other chord. And then when you are playing from chords, listen. Really, really listen. We don't play with our ears enough. Most students, generally speaking, in this program, we're really addicted to the sheet music. There's a lot of good stuff on the sheet music, but make sure your ears are giving you that important feedback. It's really, really important to know where you're at in the song and what's kind of sounding good out of your ukulele and what sounds terrible. And if something sounds wrong, take a peek. You're probably on the wrong chord, right? All right. That's not a very good sound, is it? Let's see. What was I playing on this earlier with these wacko tuning? I tuned it down for some reason. That'll work. All right. From the top, most of you are on chords. 1, 2, ready, go. 8, 7. Let me start again. 1, 2, ready, go. go. Together. That's fun. Played that one way less good on this instrument than I did on the other instrument. But, you know, whatever. What are you going to do? The other thing I wanted to mention, look at measure 14. We just finished the second page. Measure 14. Who is it for? Now, if you're a singer, that's easy, right? That's why you became a singer, was for slurs. Who is it for? But on ukulele, we go, right, and it always never quite sounds like what we really want. And so notice up there that you have a slur. You have two notes. They're on different lines on the standard notation, and I don't put slurs in tablature usually. There are times when I do, but most of the time I don't. You're expected to be looking at the tablature and the standard notation for any sort of thing. And when you get there, I forgot it both times that I played this. You come in, right? So all I'm doing, taking my index finger, I'm pulling it straight down. Okay, that's how you make a slur. Okay, you just pluck the string as you're pulling your left hand finger off, bottom, and then you have something much closer to what you want to do. Slurs and hammer-ons, right? Those are the two kind of intermediate level type decorations you add into your standard notation and standard music, so it just makes you sound kind of cool. Playing the two notes is perfectly fine. Playing a slur is better. Okay, all right. There's Eleanor Rigby in a nutshell. Let's see how we're doing on time. Golly, that took half an hour. All right, so talk less, play more, Gary. Let's go look at Here Comes the Sun. We went over it last week. I'm going to go over it a little bit again today. It's a very easy. Nothing is easy in music, but it's not going to hurt your brain until you get to page 2. And so let's run over to page 2. Let's look at measures 19. Okay, let's play that together. Grab your ukulele. Okay, you're going to be at measure 19. You are in there's a 3/8. And then a 5/8, and then a 4/4, 2/4, 3/8, 5/5, 5/8, 4/4, 2/4. Hurts your brain, right? What's really going on there is a whole bunch of eighth notes. Just think of it as one long continuous eighth note run, and you'll be fine. Okay? Let's go through it kind of slow. I for sure would have my claw on for this, and since I've only got one place where I'm going to be playing, a couple of places where I'm going to be playing the 4th string. I can reach up and grab it when that's time. The rest of the time I'm going to have my fingers planted on C string, E string, and A string. Okay, and I'm going to take my time. I'm going to try to be smooth and pretty. Okay, so first thing I got 2-2-0, so let's do that. Now my index finger is going to grab the 8. My 10s are jumping on at the same time. E flat shape. slide back to the 3, keep everything in the same relationship. Put a mini bar on 3 and your middle finger on 4. And then open. And then you grab your G chord, and that's when your thumb comes down. Whoop. And then the D chord. Okay, back to your claw. Put a little mini bar on 1, middle finger up on the 3rd string 2. Open. G chord. Okay, again at measure 31, back to your claw shape. Mini bar. 3. I hit the wrong note. And then keep going. D7. Big D7. D7. Okay, so to get through that section, you're thinking about claw the whole way through that little section, except when you have to strum, right? If there's a note on the 4th string, I'd use my thumb, strum down, rest stroke. And other than that, you have a book 1 type song, okay? That section there is book 3 for sure, right? This is why you don't just see this stuff laying around, right? This is a little bit more challenging than we want just anybody who wanders in with a ukulele to play. Okay, so let's start from the top. Looks like we have a repeat at 17, so we don't even get that until we play through the beginning twice. Okay, I think I'm going to switch my iPad so I can see everything at once. I put a music stand right here so I can kind of see what I'm doing, except it gets really small when you do double-sided. All right, from the top, 2 times through on the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Strum. Go. Whoops. Oh, what did I do there? I don't need to move anything there, right? Okay, measure 9. Go ahead and jump on. Go. Give yourself time to turn around. Do that real long. Look at your audience like, hey, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go redo that whole thing. Okay? From the top. So now we go back to the top. Go. And go. Second ending. Okay, now let that ring for a minute and then go. 48, go. And then I'm going to change it to 77710. Okay. All right. Beautiful. Beautiful. Right. So I would say if I'm going to play this piece outside of my sound studio, okay, better known as a walk-in closet, if I'm going to play it outside of here, I'm going to memorize those difficult runs, right? So that I don't have to be thinking, I'm like, oh, here's that place, and I take my eyes off the sheet music and get it firmly entrenched on the ukulele. And then I'll remember what happens next, right? Oh, G chord, okay? So what you're thinking about is, if I'm going to be playing this for other people and I want to get it good enough, I got to know the hard parts so that I can look away from the sheet music and put that on there. I don't actually think memorizing is all that important, generally speaking, for most stuff you do. The chances of you going out and playing without any sheet music these days, especially if you're a grown adult, it just doesn't seem to make any sense. We have lovely tools, iPads and foot pedals now. There's just no reason not to have your score there just in case. And the stress of memorizing, it's just too much. So don't put yourself in that place where you're going to be like, I got to memorize all this stuff. You do have to memorize the hard parts, because the hard parts, you want them to be smooth, and the only way to get them smooth is to play them like that, okay? Without looking at the sheet music, I think is what I'm trying to say, with many, many, many more words than is necessary. Then I think I just hit the wrong button. I don't know if something really bad just happened or not. Let's see. Let's see. Oh, okay. I hit the wrong button, and it looks like I'm still logged in. Okay. All right. Now, let's talk baritone. Okay. We're gonna do the same thing on baritone, and if you're on ukulele, again, we're practicing our chords. Now, the chords on this for let me get back to the baritone one. D chord, G chord, A7, right? These are pretty factory issued stuff here. So I'm not going to put this on. D chord, you got your D chord on ukulele, your G chord, your A7 is super easy, okay? D, G, A7, D, G, A7. You got an E7 down at 12. Remember, that goes all the way back to the little strumming booklet on book 1, okay? You have an E minor 7th in there. I would just play a plain old E minor, not worry about what the 7th means in that situation. Another E7. Then at measure 18, it changes to keys, essentially. It doesn't change keys on the paper, but it changes keys in reality. Notice how you know a key change happens. All of a sudden you start seeing a whole bunch of flats, sharps, or naturals showing up in the sheet music. And if you look at this section, it's full of naturals. It's busy getting rid of a bunch of sharps, which is weird because I went to an A-type feeling to it. But you're going to go A chord, and for ukulele, that's this shape. Going to your F chord, that's nice. You just drop your index finger. Going to a C chord, yay, we know C chord, and G chord, right? And then it's D and A and F and C and G and D and A. We've done all of those chords. Again, an E minor 7, I would just play an E minor. It sounds the best. And then what else do we got going on? I think that's about it, right? So that's most of the chords. And this would be one where you might put a little bit more oomph into. Little darling, it's been a long, long, lonely winter. Little darling. Now, the other thing I want to mention, those of you guys who like to sing, baritone's way easier to sing over than ukulele. And people who are altos, you guys are doomed with ukulele because it's just right dead square in where you need to be. Sopranos can sing over the top of that pretty effectively, but altos, man, and most women singers are altos, right? And so that becomes a problem. For men, if you're a tenor singer, you can probably keep up with ukulele kind of, but most of us are baritones or worse, and we want to have a lower pitched instrument. And so that's something to think about in your, you're thinking about what's my next instrument I'm going to buy. All right, I'm going to try to play this without stopping the whole way through on baritone, and that way you get a chance to find out which chords you don't know, and then next week this week you'll know to go look them up and practice them. All right, baritone version. Here Comes the Sun. 1, 2, ready, go. Back to number 1. Go. Back to 48. Seven, 7, 7, 10. 7, 7, 7, 10. All right, I found a few places for pull-offs. I'll be adding those onto the sheet music this week. Hopefully, in the next few days, I will have a revised piece of music up posted on there. Again, for those of you who are a little late, Blackbird and what's it called? The E song we just played. Eleanor Rigby are both updated on the website, and what I'm doing against my better judgment is pushing a lot more standard notation up into the standard notation line, so that the people who are in love with standard notation don't whine to me that it's not their kind of thing. There's about 4 of them, and they're very vocal and very serious about having their standard notation. I think it makes the music less readable, less good than just keeping in that upper line as primarily melody. But I understand their point. Hey, I play from standard notation. I want to see what that looks like, and it's fine on baritone. It's not fine on ukulele, and that's because of our re-entrant tuning. So as you're playing through some of that this week, let me know what you think of that. The other thing is I will update Here Comes the Sun this week so that you have a little bit more. There's a few places in here I think I can make a little bit more interesting. There's several pull-off spots in here that I don't have marked, and yeah, so I think that, when did I last update this? 2022. So it's 3 years old. It's time for an update anyway. And anyway, that's that. The next song we will do on the website, if you want to get a jump start after this one, and we'll probably look at it next week, probably, depending on if I get far enough along. Where's my Jolly Roger stuff? I want to do All My Loving. I don't remember doing All My Loving at all. I think I have it for both guitar and ukulele, but I looked through it today and I was like, I don't remember playing this. And the other thing that's crazy about it is a book 1 type song. It is super. There's nothing fancy in it whatsoever. And so it's something that you should be able to knock out really quite effectively pretty quickly. And so take a look at that this week. I'll probably post that. I didn't get an email out to you guys this week, so 1, thank you for remembering and thank you for being here. And 2, let's take a look at what I want to do is just go down through all the Beatles stuff and get that all updated so that it's over and done with, and you can go out and just play those songs at your local coffee shop and put a cup in front of you and make $1 million. And then, I think what I'm going to try to do is go down through the rest of the members page, looking for things that don't have baritone attached to them, and do a lot of those types of songs, and so we can get a bunch of that caught up. I know the website is a constant mess. You know me, I know you. We'll be fine. Just we'll find what we need on it, and we'll just keep adding to it. We'll just keep. The more it's a mess, the more I know we're doing the right thing, right? When everything's nice and neat and orderly, it means we think that we have it figured out, and we don't. So, a couple reminders. Tell your friends about Jolly Roger Ukulele. Have them go do books 1 and maybe all of book 2. They can do that for free. Have them look at the Jumping Flea arpeggios. Those are free. But have them come and get a membership and play some of this stuff with us. It's way more fun to play ukulele with a friend. And I have 700 songs plus the orchestra stuff. Plus I have plenty to keep you busy, right? And then if you want to get started on guitar, I have a whole good program at, we're switching it from DenverGuitarOrchestra.com to Guitar Orchestra Network, and then all of that's brand new. I don't have a lot of that stuff still, definitely under heavy duty construction. And then of course, the one that you think I don't really want to play that, but you do, trust me, is the harmonica stuff, and that's at harmonicaband.com. So those are my 3 kind of works sites that I'm working on pretty heavily right now. Love for you to stop by, take a look and see what's going on. We meet Mondays for harmonica, Tuesdays for beginning ukulele, Wednesdays for you guys, and then Sunday nights for guitar. I'm going to do some arranging and teaching classes, but those will probably just be video postings. So so there's a lot of stuff going on. I'm glad you were here. Thanks for being here, and hopefully I didn't mess up our broadcast too much by hitting that one button. Looks like it's still going, so I hope I'm still with you, and if I'm not, it's been lovely anyway, and I will talk to all of you next week, and stay warm and hope your weather's improving wherever you are. Peace.